The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to the Dogs. It is the William Hill St Ledger semi-finals from Wimbledon. The runners for the first semi-final parading behind us. The big two in the market, fancy to win their semi-finals, Bubbly Totty and Lenson Joker. It's top-class action all the way on this week's edition of the Dogs.
As well as the Ledger semi-finals in this week's programme, the Brakes Food Service Autumn Puppy Cup heats from Nottingham. The crowd going crazy at Sunderland during the William Hill Northern Puppy Derby final meeting. And even more pups on show in the heats of the Coral Sussex Puppy Trophy from Hove. But first, Sunderland and the highlights of the William Hill Northern Puppy Derby meeting. Contender for Sprinter of the Year, Boa Brada Mac in Trap 5, had to survive a first bend bump before leading on the line and beating FilingPlus.com. In the 450 J2O Stakes, Me Buddy, wearing the blue jacket for Matt Dartnell, tried to make all, but he was also caught on the line by Barnfield Mike. We may have unearthed a new marathon star in Laverick Limo. Heavily backed in the morning prices, Laverick Limo quickened away from Swift Blackfoot on the run-in to the delight of his supporters. So on to the big one, and Droopys Kez was sent off the 4-6 favourite for the feature, the £8,000 William Hill Northern Puppy Derby final. He was ever so impressive in the semi-finals, recording the quickest time. Next in the betting was Droopys Quinter, who saw the backside of Droopys Kez in the semis. And away they go. Droopys Kez is away fast. Droopys Quinter goes with it. Trap 3, Confident Kermit got a slight touch. Crown Rover is crowded around the first bend, and Droopys Kez is away and gone. Already 5 lengths clear from Droopys Quinter in second, and then comes 4, Raving Black, as they head down the far side. And it's Droopys Kez with a 6-length lead here. Back in second place is Raving Black. Then comes 3, Confident Kermit. They spin off the final bend. This has been an ultra-impressive performance from Droopys Kez, a winner by 4 lengths of the William Hill Northern Puppy Derby. Well, in his hurry to latch onto the hare, Droopys Kez wandered up the centre of the track, smashing into Confident Kermit in Trap 3 and holding up Crown Rover. With further trouble in behind at the first bend, Kez was away and gone to win in a time of 26.99. Well done, though, to trainer Ted Soppett. That's his 3rd Northern Puppy Derby winner in the past 4 years. Hove's popular Sunday lunchtime meeting saw a good crowd in attendance for the heats of the Coral Sussex Puppy Trophy. In Heat 1, recent Northern Puppy Derby runner-up Raving Black was made the 4-9 favourite for trainer Seamus Carhill. Main threat, according to the betting, was Lenson Flash, a recent winner at Sittingbourne and Yarmouth. And there they go, and racing up towards the first bend, 6. Cargrove Cougar out fast, Raving Black in second. After these comes Lenson Flash, who was bumped on the run-up, slightly crowded at the bend. Then we've got a break back to October Badger in 2. So head down the far side at 6, Cargrove Cougar, leading but passed now by Raving Black. Good middle pace from Seamus Carhill's runner. Raving Black leading here by a length and a half over Cargrove Cougar in second place. Then comes Lenson Flash, powering its way home. Raving Black looking impressive here on this big galloping track. Raving Black the winner, second place Cargrove Cougar. Raving Black there winning by 4 3/4 lengths in 29.93. Pantone Bogart for David Mullins was the 5-4 favourites in the second heat, having run well at the track the previous week behind Centurion Rust, who was the 6-4 second favourite for Paul Young. Traps open up and they're away and racing up towards the first bend. General bunching on the inside. 4 Toozy Silk's going to take it up though. That leads round, getting a bump Centurion Russ in its desperation to move up into second. Improving his Sign Major, then comes 6 Useful Asset. So they head down the far side. The pace at the moment with Toozy Silk coming to challenge on the outside, Sign Major. Looking for room also Pantone Bogart, that's staying on. No luck for Centurion Russ. So they come around the final bend and Sign Major goes for home. It's 2 lengths clear here. Staying on well, Useful Asset just might get second ahead of Pantone Bogart. Sign Major recording 30.45, beating Useful Asset by 1 3/4 lengths. In the third heat, Claire Keith Cody, locally trained by Claude Gardner, was the 7-4 favourite, with Mount Joy Star and Bank on Black next in the prices. Here comes the hare. And there they go, racing up towards the first bend, away fast Mount Joy Star. That leads up by 2 lengths here from 2. Claire Keith Cody giving chase, looking for a bit of space on the inside there. Bank on Black, and gave Claire Keith Cody a slight nudge. Down the far side, Mount Joy Star leading here by 1.5 lengths over Bank on Black, who's been taken on again by Claire Keith Cody. Closing his Wise Opinion. They come round the second last bend and diving for the inside. Claire Keith Cody inside Mount Joy Star, brushes it around the final bend and goes on. Claire Keith Cody by a good 2 lengths there. Wise Opinion staying on for second. Well, Claire Keith Cody there winning in a time of 30.20 and beating Wise Opinion by 2 lengths. Sussex Cup winner Droopys Carvalho lined up in a supporting race here on the card for trainer John Mullins and was sent off 4-6. Steel City Cup winner Dino and former inmate with John was next in the prices. And there they go, racing up towards the first bend here. And well away is Wraithby Sarah. That's going to lead up early here. Moving up into second comes Droopy's Director. Holding up Dino, who's forced out wide. So is Droopy's Carvalho. But as they head down the far side, Wraithby Sarah with this lead of 2.5 lengths over 6 Droopy's Carvalho. That's really closing rapidly into the third bend. Then comes Dino and Droopy's Director. They come round the crown of the bend and Droopy's Carvalho getting inside now Wraithby Sarah. But Wraithby Sarah is leading still by a neck. Wraithby Sarah causes an upset. Wraithby Sarah there, trained by Claude Gardner, beating Droopy's Carvalho. Well, on to Nottingham on Monday night. Before we show you the heats of the Brakes Food Service Autumn Puppy Cup, we can catch up on Martin White's Wise Thought, who's being aimed at the Betfred Eclipse. This is his first race back on these shores after reaching the Irish Derby semi-finals. He was sent off the 1-3 favourite. And away they go, racing up towards the first bend. Well away is 4 Brandy Man, but the pace here from Wise Thought already 2 lengths clear as they enter the first bend, keeping out wide but keeping in front of Brandy Man. Then after these comes Giddy Up Boy racing in third, the reserve, and they've pulled away from the others. They come down towards the far side, towards that third bend, and at the moment Wise Thought, surely not for catching, has built a 5-length advantage over Brandy Man in second. Then comes Giddy Up Boy. They come around the final bend. Most impressive, Wise Thought wins so easily in the end. Giddy Up Boy in second, Brandy Man was third. Oh, great run there from Wise Thought, recording a time of 30.49. So on to the heats of the Autumn Puppy Cup. In Heat 1, Mal Nosey, making his debut on these shores for David Cruz, was sent off the 11-8 favourite, just ahead of the more experienced Romeo Del Piero for Dave Firmager. And there they go, racing up towards the first bend here, braking well. Mal Nosey leads up by 2 lengths for Love Not Money in second place, getting a touch there. Mar City 2. After he's won, Romeo Del Piero making up a bit of ground ahead of 6 Nats Jedi as they head down the far side. They've got to go some to catch Mal Nosey. Some 4 lengths clear, but closing rapidly now. Romeo Del Piero. That's moved up into second. After these comes For Love Not Money as they come around the final bend, and the lead still with Mal Nosey, but getting tired as Romeo Del Piero lays it down and gets there. Romeo Del Piero there winning by 1.5 lengths in the end in 31.17. In Heat 2, Droopy's lead for Dean Childs, the son of Westmead Hawk, who'd won his last 3 races at Coventry and Nottingham, was the 4-7 favourite. Hallgate Boy and Laurie's Options were next in the betting. Traps open up and they're away and racing up towards the first bend, and 1 Droopy's Lee out fast along with Hallgate Boy in 4, who was slightly crowded around the bend. There was no room there for Mill Abbey Trojan, who had to veer out wide, took Droopy's Trevor a bit wider than it wanted to go at the bend. Heading down the far side, and Droopy's Lee by a couple of lengths here from 4 Hallgate Boy, who's coming again though at that third bend. They're 3 lengths clear from 3 Mill Abbey Trojan, holding up the others as they come around the final bend, and still Droopy's Lee. Closing again on the straight is Hallgate Boy. There's half half length between them. It's going to be close on the line, on the nod. In the end, Hallgate Boy got the verdict, winning on the line in 31.15. In Heat 3, Farlow Tico, after some good trials on the track, was sent off the 1-4 favourite for Charlie Lister. Moyar Hawk and Clash Morgan were next in the betting. There they go, racing up towards the first bend. A flyer from Clash Morgan on this near side. It's going to lead up early here from 5 in second. Toll Barbarian just clipping the rails, it looked like. Farlow Tico on the inside, but is closing rapidly now and held up, running a bit green. In behind 6, Clash Morgan. Clash Morgan then from Farlow Tico coming again on the outside. Toll Barbarian, then comes 2, Droopys Eugene. They get round the third bend and Farlow Tico found a gap and has now gone on. Farlow Tico's quickened away, a bit wide on the track here off this final turn, but leads up the home straight. Farlow Tico beats Droopys Eugene. Farlow Tico recording the slowest time, 30.34, but was involved in some trouble. Well, the final takes place on Monday night and looks a real poser. Droopys Lee looks well drawn in 1, as long as he breaks. Farlow Tico looked green as grass in the heats, whilst a quick surface may help Mal Nosey slip the field. We'll just go with Droopys Lee for Dean Childs because of the draw.
Coming up after the break, we're off to Wimbledon for the semi-finals of the William Hill St Leger. Welcome back to part 2 of the Dogs, and as promised, we're off to Wimbledon for the semi-finals of the William Hill St Leger. On a cold autumnal night, punters kept warm in the bars and fast food outlets. But a familiar face at the track is no longer, with the decision of former General Manager Darren Kennedy to quit the South London venue for pastures new.
Martin, with the recent departure of Darren Kennedy, the rumour mill started again. Is Wimbledon going to close?
To the best of my knowledge, no. I certainly wouldn't be here if I thought he was.
Why did Darren leave?
That's a very good question. I have spoken to Darren since he left. I've asked him myself. He tells me he's going on to better, bigger things. What they are, don't know. I hope to find out, but at the moment I don't know.
You've been here pretty much the same time as Darren. How do you see the future?
Obviously it's hard for everyone at the moment. Certainly from my point of view, I'm here to make things better. As I said, if I didn't think they could be made better, I wouldn't stay here. So hopefully coming into the new year, or to January and on, they should start picking up, I hope.
On the track at Wimbledon, the action remains of the highest quality, and heading into the first semi-final of the St Leger, Ted Soppitt's bubbly Totty was strongly fancied to continue his love affair with the track. The bookies were certainly taking no chances at 3-1 on. Irish Raider Droopys Arson was next in at 6s.
And there they go, racing up towards the first bend, and away fast Iceman Brutus leads up early, but it's Droopys Arson that's going to try and challenge at the first turn. Bubbly Totty just had to check into the first bend and is now last. Midway Skipper's ahead of it as they come around the second bend. Droopys Arson ahead of Iceman Brutus and Bramaden Star. Bubbly Totty improves a place, and there comes Midway Skipper outpaced. They head down the far side. Droopys Arson a length up. Iceman Brutus chasing, but look at the pace of Bubbly Totty down the far side. Coming to challenge at the fifth bend and goes on. Totty hits the front. It's Bubbly Totty by 2 lengths here from Droopys Arson. Iceman Brutus, Bramaden Star, and now Midway Skipper staying on late, but it's Bubbly Totty. What an awesome performance. Totty wins from Midway Skipper in second. Droopys Arson was third.
A sparkling off-the-pace performance from Bubbly Totty, cheered on by a number of members of the Champagne Club Syndicate and winning trainer Soppitt. The first favourite was in the bag for punters, but there weren't too many takers for the 2-7 bookmaker Tony Morris chalked up about Lenson Joker in the second semi. He drifted a point before the off, with the opposition led by kennelmate Lenson Earl and the well-drawn Carbarnes Tom in 6.
And away they go, racing up towards the first bend. Go Big Hitter flashes out to lead up early from Lenson Joker. After these comes 3 Lenson Earl. So they go round the bend. Lenson Joker slightly touched there, loses its footing and dropped back to third. So it's Go Big Hitter leading from Lenson Earl and Lenson Joker together. After these comes 2 Wise Maldini, just ahead of 4 Lavender's Grant. There's more trouble at the third bend. Go Big Hitter proving hard to get past. Lenson Earl in second, Lenson Joker in third. They're away from 4 Lavender's Grant in fourth as they come down towards the second last bend. Lenson Earl gets past Go Big Hitter. Lenson Joker trying to find a way past, but is not too clever at the bend. Moving up is Lavender's Grant. They come round the final turn, and it's Lenson Earl that's going to win here by 2.5 lengths. Lenson Earl's the winner. Go Big Hitter second. Lavender's Grant is third. And surprisingly, Lenson Joker is out of the ledger.
A bittersweet victory for Tony Collett and Len Ponder's dog as they see the long-time ledger favourite bow out. But Lenson Earl deserved the triumph and was rewarded with trap 1 in the final. Bubbly Tossie is the only seeded runner in the lineup, automatically drew 6. The sponsors made the Scottish Derby second a 2-7 chance after the draw, and he'll line up the shortest price St Ledger favourite in years on Tuesday.
Ted, a fabulous performance there from Totty.
I would say his best ever. I just shut my eyes at the first bend. I couldn't believe it. He made a right rick at the boxes, and but he was clever. He just eased off and let the 6 go past him, and then he made a run. And but the run he's done to do 40.85, fastest time in the competition. You know, unreal. That's without doubt the best race he's ever run.
Not only pace, but he's got track craft. He's got everything, this dog.
Just so clever. He's so clever. He's got 6 in the final, exactly where he wants to be. He's just getting better and better and better. And if we look after him, we've got him for next year. And to be quite honest, he might go back to Shawfield, drop him back around 4 bends. He just never ceases to amaze. He just, without question, to give St Ledger dogs that much start and come through, it was unreal. That was without doubt one of the best performances of a greyhound I've had.
Lenny, you've got Lenson Earl through the final.
Yeah, very, very pleased because he's always getting in finals. Whether he can win it or not, I don't know, Dave, tell you the truth. Choked about Joker, though, really. That was our main hope. But he got one through the final, I suppose, and anybody else will be over the moon, which I am really, but still a little bit upset for Joker because the boys are in Joker, as you know. And we backed him at a very, very big price. Not that it matters because money doesn't mean nothing, really. But I would love to have got him to the final in 100%. And I think you've had a terrific match between him and Bubbly Totty, which obviously looks the winner as it is at the moment. But as you say, we've seen him get beat tonight, so he was odds on. Can happen to another dog, can't it? As I say, choke, but keep our fingers crossed, you never know. I think it's just got trap 1. Just let's hope it goes around that first bend and runs a big race.
I don't count my chickens, as he's still got to win, but he's got a big chance.
Trap 6, no other wides, all the room in the world?
Yep, exactly what he needs. He is a better dog out of 6, there's no question. I mean, Scottish Derby, if he'd been drawn in 6, I think he'd have made the Derby final. That's what sort of pace he's got. And to be honest, I think he showed Derby pace tonight. The way he's gone through dogs, he showed pure Derby pace. And but look, we've still got to win. I respect all the grounds in the final. We've still got to come in and do it on the night.
See the Joker, I mean, he's been in fantastic form all year. Do you think he's just gone over the top?
Look at his last couple of runs, you would think he was, but it was open just to get him through at night, not so much to win, to qualify. And then you've got a week's rest then, Dave, you know what I mean? You can freshen him up a little bit. But maybe good judges will look at it and they'll know probably has just gone bored over at the wrong time. But in saying that, what a season we've had this year with him. It's been a fantastic, I can't say that one, Tony's done a fantastic job. So, what can we say? A choker for all the people that have backed him and all the people that follow the dog. But they've got another great dog there in the final, Ted's dog. And all the other dogs are decent dogs, and all Midway Skipper, there's good dogs there. But just hope that Earl can pull one out of the hat for us.
What would it mean to you to win the St Ledger?
Well, it was my first classic. I was second. We got done on the run-in with Droopys, Reese, Droopys Shearer led and got picked up. This dog's probably up there now with the best of them I've had. The 6 bends, I would say he's up there with the best, definitely.
To do that sort of time coming from behind, it was a tremendous run. Missed a break, 40.85. You know, there's got to be a 40.40 there somewhere, or even better. Trap 6, I'm sure he'll come away a lot better on Tuesday, and barring accidents, I can't see another dog getting within 2 or 3 lengths of him at least.
Indeed, punters faced with trying to take on the short price favourite might do better in betting the forecast. And a glance at the average sectionals clocked during the St Ledger suggests both Droopys Arson and Lenson Earl be prominent early on. In the second round, Droopys Arson, here in 1, was out-trapped by Bubbly Totty, but led him and Lenson Joker by the turn. With 5 railers in the lineup, the start could be crucial, but not so much for the slow starting, strong finishing Midway skipper in 5. She'll be last on the first lap, but packs a punch late. We saw that in the second round when from almost nowhere, here in 3, she almost caught the winner, Lenson Earl.
Around the 5th bend they go, and Lenson Earl just in front here from Iceman. Brutus staying on the inside though as Midway skipper as they come up towards the line. It's going to be close. Oh, just so close.
The dogs fancy the William Hill St Ledger will be won by Bubbly Totty from Droopys Arson. And if you're feeling brave, the TriCast vote goes to Midway skipper. The final is live on Sky Sports on Tuesday. Sad news this week of the death of former trainer Gary Baggs. Gary, the long-serving Walthamstow handler, won the Derby in 1987 with Signal Spark and sent out a huge number of winners from his base in Ivor Heath, Rosewood Kennels. For years he was assisted by his daughter Stacey, who later took over the licence when Gary became ill. One of Gary's last public appearances was at Walthamstow in July, when a benefit night was staged to raise money for his cancer treatment and special care. He summoned the strength to be there, as he later would to walk his daughter down the aisle just a week before his death. Gary was tremendously well liked, as these tributes paid on that night at the Stowe go to show.
I've known him practically all my working life in London, and he's always been a nice guy. Is that a nice thing to say? He's a good trainer, obviously. He'd done something that I could never do. He won the Derby. And he's just been a wonderful chap, really.
I don't know anyone who's got a bad word to say about Gary, and in this industry, I think that's a good thing. You know, it's quite rare you don't find. There's always someone to say, "Oh yeah, he's a great trainer," but with Gary, I've not heard the but.
Known Gary for many years. Like, you know, we go back to Rayleigh days, then I suppose Ipswich and onto Southend, which were, I suppose, some great times, like, you know. Gary was a very nice chap, and I never had dogs with Gary, but he was a very helpful bloke, you know. If you wanted a bit of advice, he was always there to give you a bit, like, you know.
He was an old-fashioned trainer, but he was a good trainer, Gary was. And he was such a nice chap as well, you know, and I've known him for about 30 years, and he was always the same to us where you met him, and when you spoke to him, he was just the same chap every time you seen him, you know.
Well, Gary's just one of the game's pure gentlemen. We've had some great tussles, but he's one of those people that takes defeat as well as he takes winning. And thank God we did manage to beat him occasionally. But he's one of the game's true gents.
A brief look at the forthcoming Opens. This Friday, it's Opens all the way at Romford. Pick of the action on Saturday is at Oxford, where they are staging the Blanchford Building Supplies Oxfordshire Gold Cup, and also at Shawfield, where they have the heats of the ex-Limousine St Mungo Cup. On Sunday, there is the final of the Coral Sussex Puppy Trophy from Hove, and on Monday, the final of the Brakes Food Service Autumn Puppy Cup at Nottingham. To keep up to date with all the results and latest news from your local track, visit our website, thedogs.co.uk. Next Tuesday, we're broadcasting live from Wimbledon for the William Hill St Ledger meeting. Make sure you join us then.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.